and welcome to Dott TV Media News. I am Priscilla Ifani. The Delta State House of Assembly on Thursday passed the revised Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 after its third reading. The House also passed the Delta State Public and Private Properties Protection Amendment Bill 2026 during plenary presided over by the Speaker of the House, Imomotimi Gore. The reports.
At plenary, Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation and member representing Patani constituency, Emmanuel Senebe, presented the report of the committee on the revised Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025. Senebe said based on observations and findings of the committee, it recommended the approval of the revised bill having 510 billion 98,435,893 naira as recurrent expenditure and the sum of 669 billion 130,382,826 naira as capital expenditure, while the total budget size remains 1,179,228,818,719 naira. The committee, in its recommendations, further mandated all MDAs to implement strictly within the approved reverse provisions and also directed the Ministry of Economic Planning, Accountant General and Budget Office to strengthen budgetary controls to reduce post-budget cycle revisions.
Observation 1. Constitutional compliance. That the submission is in accordance with the section 1214 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. 2. Purpose of realignment. That the amount realigned relates to specific sub-aid to address critical needs of the state. 3. The expenditure needs. That a need has arrived from expenditure on purposes for which no amount was appropriated in the previous law.
The House therefore adopted the recommendations of the committee and suspended relevant standing orders to enable the third reading and passage of the bill. Following a motion by the leader Emeka Nwobi and seconded by the Deputy Speaker Atokpo, the bill was read the third time and passed.
20 naira only, and the revised capital expenditure will be 669 billion 130 million 382,399 naira only for the services of the year ending on the 31st day of December 2025, and to appropriate same for the purposes specified in the law. Third reading and passed.
Similarly, the House suspended relevant rules to take the third reading and passage of the Delta State Public and Private Properties Protection Amendment Bill 2026. Leader of the House, Nwobi, in a motion seconded by the member representing Patani constituency, Emmanuel Senebe, the bill was read the third time and passed. Commending the lawmakers for their diligence to duty, the Speaker, Imomotimi Gore, said the passage of the bill underscores their commitment as legislators to strengthen the legal framework for the protection of public and private properties in the state.
By the member representing Oshun South that this Honorable House do now receive the report from the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation for further consideration. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
With the passage of both bills, the 8th Assembly of the Delta State House of Assembly has yet again demonstrated its unwavering resolve to continue to collaborate with the executive in fostering good governance. Emeka Okonkwo reporting for Dott TV News.
Delta State government says it has activated measures to reduce the impact of possible floods and safeguard residents in parts of the state. The move came as the Nigerian Meteorological Agency identified Delta State as one of the states at high risk of flooding this year. The reports. With forecasts indicating an increased risk of flooding in parts of the country, the Delta state government says it is taking proactive steps to protect lives and properties. The Commissioner Bureau for Special Duties, Terry Etachawere, says the state has constituted a flood management committee to coordinate preparedness, response, and mitigation efforts across vulnerable communities.
The information from NIMET over flood in Delta State is no longer a news to us. What I mean is, we have always prepared expecting the flood in Delta State, because NIMET will always list all the states, and of which Delta State is among the states that it is expected to experience flood every year. I'm so proud to tell the public that His Excellency Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori has set up a committee headed by the SSG and the AMD co-chairman. It's been a practice. We don't even wait for flood to come.
Beyond preventive measures, the government says adequate arrangements have been made for residents who may be displaced by flooding. According to the Commissioner, IDP camps have been identified and will be equipped with essential amenities including food supplies, healthcare services, and educational support for children.
We have also made a preparation for IDP camps in those areas. So as I'm talking with us here, should the flood come unexpectedly, measures has also been put in place to cope it all. And of course, you can't put people in IDP camp, people who are vulnerable, who can't do anything, and just leave them there. The government has done very well to make preparation for their feeding.
The Commissioner further assured residents that government intervention will continue even after the floodwaters recede. He said relief materials and other forms of assistance will be provided to the affected persons, especially those whose homes, farmlands, and sources of livelihood may be impacted, to support their recovery and help them rebuild their lives.
The government has always been putting measures in place to compensate them. After that, we also carry out investigations on how for some of these persons to be compensated as well. And some of these materials also used in the IDP camp. Some of these persons involved, they take them.
Etachawere also urged residents of flood-prone communities to pay close attention to early warning advisories and cooperate with relevant authorities as the state intensifies efforts to minimize the impact of possible flooding.
That's the reason why the sensitization exercise is being carried out, to encourage them, to advise them. Once they see the water coming, they are strongly advised to move to the highland or to evacuate to the IDP camp.
Reporting from Asaba, Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News. Still in Delta State, Delta State First Lady and founder of the Umatu Charity Foundation, Dickiness Tobore Oborewori, has further demonstrated a unwavering commitment to inclusive healthcare and social support by extending the foundation's free medical outreach for children living with autism and other special needs to the Okbe, Saple, Uwe Federal Constituency. The second phase of the initiative delivered comprehensive medical consultations, health educations, essential medications, 120 bags of rice, 30 wheelchairs, 3 smart boards, physiotherapy toys, educational devices, and a wide range of assistive materials designed to enhance the learning, mobility, and overall well-being of children with autism and related developmental conditions. Speaking during the outreach, Dickiness Oborewori said every child deserves dignity and opportunity and care regardless of ability. She noted that the foundation will continue to partner with health professionals, educators, and community leaders to ensure families of children with special needs are not left behind. A fire outbreak has destroyed machines and equipment at an electronic sales and repair shop in Kowen Plaza, Asaba. The incident occurred in the early hours of yesterday, with the full extent of the damage yet to be determined. Onyeka Odiase completes the report.
The shop owner, Emeka Adebayo, said the fire broke out at about 6 a.m., destroying printers, photocopy machines, and other electronic equipment belonging to both him and his customers. He said plans are already underway to renovate the shop, resume business, compensate affected customers, and gradually recover from the loss.
I got a call from one of the shop owners that my shop was on fire. I have to drive down. Before I got here, I saw fire servicemen trying to put out the fire with some other shop owners, you know. But most of the items have been almost completely damaged by the fire. You know, I'm into repairs, printers, copiers, photocopiers, and other electronics. It's a colossal damage. Just looking at them, I don't know where to start. I can't take stock now to know the number of items that have been destroyed. You know.
Some shop owners at the plaza who spoke on the incident said they were not around when the fire started. Paul Abiodun said he was alerted through a phone call, while Great Doro said he arrived to find the shop already engulfed in flames, with firefighters working to contain the blaze and prevent it from spreading to other shops.
I was very confused because it was from sleep they called me and I was shocked. So after some minutes, I have to put a call across to my neighbors and my boys in the office. So most of them told me they are not also in the office. So, but for like some minutes, they called me that they're in the plaza. That thank God for the fire people, the fire service, that they came for the rescue. So that they've been able to take down the fire.
What hurts me in this whole matter is that most of those things belong to customers. They are not just for the owner of the shop alone. Most of those work there are for customers, both the printers and laptop.
Other traders noted that the fire might have been brought under control sooner if it had occurred during the day when more people were present, adding that fire extinguishers are available throughout the plaza. Chidi Ifeanyi described the incident as painful and disheartening, while Ayodeji Usuho said it was the first major fire outbreak at the plaza and called for the installation of a fire alarm system to improve emergency response.
It was so devastating because that shop has a lot of goods worth millions. So it's not something somebody will wake up and pray for. And I pray to God that God should uphold him.
I was thinking it was like the whole plaza. So when I got, because I wasn't here when it happened. So when I got here, I found out it was a single shop. So I'm still feeling sad over it.
Meanwhile, the cause of the fire has not been established and the full extent of the damage is still being assessed. Shop owners described the incident as a major setback for the affected businessman, expressing sympathy over the losses. They also urged business owners to insure their shops against unforeseen circumstances and called for stronger fire safety measures to prevent a reoccurrence. Onyeka Odiase, Dott TV News.
And now to Edo State. A 29-year-old aspiring musician has renounced his membership of a cult group and voluntarily surrendered a Beretta pistol to security authorities in Edo State. According to the Edo State government, the decision came after he listened to an anti-cultism message by the acting chairman of the Esan West local government area, Blessing Ebodaye. The firearm was later handed over to the police in Benin City. The government said the development followed a security operation triggered by suspicious activity near a school, leading to the arrest and questioning of several young men. After meeting with the youths and urged them to shun cultism and other crimes, one of them approached the chairman, declared his intention to leave the cult group, and surrender the pistol to security officials, explaining that the chairman's message made him reflect on his life and choose a new path. He also said he refused to sell or pass the firearm to anyone because it could be used to commit crimes. Governor Monday Okpewolo commended his action and encouraged him to use his experience to persuade other young people to abandon cultism and embrace lawful living. And in Anambra State, a high court in Awka has sentenced popular native doctor Onyebuchi Okocha, also known as Onyeze Jesus, to 6 years in prison and fined him 20 million naira for violating the Anambra Homeland Security Law. Justice Jude Obiora found him guilty of misleading the public by claiming he possessed supernatural powers capable of making people wealthy through unlawful spiritual practices based on videos he shared on social media. The courts, however, cleared Okocha of allegations relating to ritual killings, money doubling schemes, and preparing charms for criminals, ruling that the prosecution failed to provide sufficient evidence on those counts. Before sentencing, Okocha pleaded for mercy, saying it was his first offense and that his detention had left his wife, twin children, and other dependents without support. Reacting to the judgment, the Anambra state government described the ruling as a strong affirmation of the Homeland Security law, saying it would deter others from deceiving the public with claims of wealth through unlawful spiritual practices. Back home, African richest man Aliko Dangote has nearly completed a $2.5 billion private share placement for Dangote Petroleum Refinery ahead of what could become Africa's largest initial public offering. The company reportedly sold up to 6% of its shares, valuing the refinery at about $40 billion, with investor demand reaching $4 billion, well above the amount offered. Sources say the refinery could launch its IPO as early as August, subject to regulatory approvals and market conditions, raising an additional $1.5 to $2 billion. Dangote is said to be prioritizing participation by Nigerians and other African investors, while also opening the offer to international retail investors. The French capital will support plans to double the refinery's processing capacity from 700,000 to 1.4 million barrels of crude oil per day by 2028. Commissioned in 2023, the Lekki-based refinery has reduced Nigerians' dependence on imported fuel and expanded export of refined petroleum products across Africa. And in Enugu State, parts of Enugu have been thrown into darkness following an explosion at the Gariki injection substation, which disrupted electricity supply to several communities. Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited said the incident, which occurred around 7:30 p.m. on Friday, damaged the substation's indoor 11 kVA breaker, affecting the Army and Gariki 11 kVA feeders. The company said its technical team is assessing the damage and working to restore power. Affected areas include parts of the Army Barracks, One Day Road, Meniru, Gariki Market, Agbani Road Axis, Amechi Road, Idon River, and other surrounding communities. Main Power has apologized to customers and appealed for patience as repair continues. Still ahead on the midday news, Custom released 7.61 billion naira pension benefit for 4,237 retirees, and Ohaneze backs probe into Habila's death, reject calls for Umai's resignation. Plus, foreign stories coming up after this time out. Don't go anywhere. In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of our stories. Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide has backed calls for a full investigation into the death of Mary Habila, a member of the medical support team attached to the Minister of Work, Senator David Umahi. The group expressed condolences to Habila's family and urged Nigerians to remain calm while security agencies conclude their probe. In a statement, Ohaneze said the incident should not be politicized, warning against comments that could affect the investigation. It noted that Umahi has requested a comprehensive forensic autopsy and investigation to establish the cause and circumstances surrounding Habila's death. The group also rejected calls for Umahi's resignation, describing them as premature and unjustified at this stage. Ohaneze said responsibility should only be determined through credible evidence and urged Nigerians to allow due process to take its course. The Nigerian Customs Service has released 7.61 billion naira to 9 pension funds administrators for the payment of retirement benefit to 4,237 retired officers. Comptroller General of the Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, said the funds has already been transferred to the administrators for onward payments into the retirees' retirement savings account, describing the move as part of the service commitment to improving the welfare of former personnel. Speaking during a dialogue with retired custom officers, Adeniyi said the service must remain financially strong to meet its obligation to both serving and retired officers. He urged retirees to engage directly with customs service instead of relying on rumors, adding that regular meetings will strengthen trust, improve communication, and help address welfare concerns more effectively. The retirees commended the customs leadership for creating a platform for direct engagement and called for such meetings to become a regular feature. The pension disbursement comes as the federal government continues reforms aimed at improving pension administration, including a review of the existing pension laws to ensure retirees' benefits reflect current economic realities. The Lagos state government had begun the controlled demolition of the fire-damaged building on Martin Street, Lagos Island. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency said the decision followed a structural assessment which found the building unsafe. Authorities have declared the area hazardous and restricted public access to protect lives and properties. Residents, traders, and customers have been directed to stay away from the site, while all trading, parking, and commercial activities around the building remain suspended until it is certified safe. The area had been barricaded, security personnel deployed, and traffic and pedestrian control measures put in place to support the demolition exercise. Lasema said emergency responders, including the fire and rescue service, ambulance service, police, and other relevant agencies will remain standby throughout the operation. The agency urged the public to cooperate with officials, report any safety concerns through its emergency channels, and avoid gathering near the demolition site until the work is completed. Presidential aide Daniel Bwala says the federal government is expanding security operations to tackle insurgency, banditry, and kidnapping across Nigeria. He said more personnel are being recruited, security agencies strengthened, and technology such as drones deployed for surveillance. Bala added that the government is boosting community policing and working with local and international partners to improve security while tracking down on criminal networks and compromised officials. And now to the foreign scene. A Ukrainian drone attack on a logistics center in western Russia had killed 7 people and injured 24 others. According to the report, the strike killed the Wheaterberry's logistics facility in the town of Kotsk during a night shift, causing a fire that has since been contained. Russian officials said the Moscow region was also targeted in a large drone attack with more than 317 drones reportedly launched overnight. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin said air defense system destroyed dozens of the drones before they reached the capital. Ukraine has also intensified strikes on the targets inside Russia, describing them as retaliation for Russia's prolonged attacks on Ukrainian territory. Meanwhile, international diplomatic efforts to end the war remain stalled. For more news on the international scene, let's now join Emeka Okonkwo.
The United States Department of State has placed 23 countries under its highest travel advisory level 4, urging Americans not to travel to these destinations for any reason. According to the advisory, the destination applies to countries where security conditions are considered extremely dangerous and where the U.S. government has limited ability to assist its citizens. The countries include Afghanistan, Belarus, Burkina Faso, Myanmar, the Central African Republic, Chad, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Haiti, Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Libya, Mali, Niger, North Korea, Russia, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, Syria, Uganda, Ukraine, and Yemen. The advisory also maintains Nigeria at level 3, urging Americans to reconsider travel because of crime, terrorism, kidnapping, civil unrest, and inconsistent health care services. However, several Nigerian states remain under level 4, including Borno, Jigawa, Kogi, Kwara, Niger, Plateau, Taraba, Yobe, Northern Adamawa, as well as Abia, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Enugu, Imo, and Rivers State, excluding Port Harcourt. Reacting to the adversary, the Nigerian government described the decision as a routine precaution based on U.S. internal protocols rather than a reflection of the country's overall security situation. Minister of Information Mohammed Idris acknowledged that Nigeria faces isolated security challenges but maintained that there is no breakdown of law and order, insisting that the country remains stable. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to increase tariffs on Canada, accusing the country of failing to properly manage its forests and causing wildfire smoke pollution affecting parts of the United States. Trump said the cost of the pollution should be added to tariffs paid by Canada, while Canadian officials said both countries are working together to tackle the wildfire crisis. Hundreds of wildfires are burning across Canada, sending thick smoke into the U.S. Midwest and Northeast, where several cities have recorded unhealthy air quality levels. Officials have warned residents to limit outdoor activities. Experts say climate change is contributing to longer and more intense wildfire seasons due to higher temperatures and drier conditions. Authorities in both Canada and the US are continuing firefighting efforts as forecasts suggest some areas may see improved air quality. In India, Indian activist Sonam Wangchuk has been moved to a hospital by Delhi police after a 20-day hunger strike over alleged irregularities in India's medical entrance examination system. Police said the decision was taken on the advice of medical experts and following a court order due to his deteriorating health. Wangchuk, 59, began fasting on June 28, demanding the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan over claims of examination failures, including a leaked medical entrance test paper. Hundreds of students have joined his protest at New Delhi's Jantar Mantar, while opposition figures have expressed support for the movement. The Delhi High Court had ordered doctors to monitor Wangchuk's condition daily, warning that necessary medical steps should be taken to protect his life. The engineer and environmental activist is known for his work on water conservation projects in Himalayas. Emeka Okonkwo reporting for Dott TV News.
That's a wrap on the media news on Dott Television. Thank you for joining us. I am Priscilla Ifani, and do well to follow us on all our social media handles at official.tv, or you can visit our website at www.dottv.tv. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your weekend.